Okay, I jumped on to do a quick video. I already have a Shopify store, but I was starting a new one for a different business, like it's a subset of my business. So I wanted to show for a few newbies a couple of the things that they were asking questions about. So when you first log in to your store, the one thing that I'm going to show first is how to set up your taxes. Now, I am not a tax advisor. I'm not a CPA. So I always recommend that you confer with your CPA, but this is just what I do based upon my research about what is needed for me. So the first thing you're going to do is to go in the bottom left-hand corner, and I'm going to turn on annotate just so that it can follow spotlight. And so you'll see the spotlight. So you go down in the bottom left-hand corner and you'll see settings. So most of the things that you have to concentrate on first is what's in the settings. So get all of the background kind of things straight for yourself first. This shows that I have started doing some of those things, but I have a lot done in my other Shopify store. So I click on settings. And once you click on settings, the first thing that I'm going to go over, just because this is one thing that the individual needed some assistance with, is taxes. Taxes, based upon my research, each state has its own threshold as to how much, if you're an e-commerce seller that is selling within their state, shipping to, or you have a physical space there, they have their own criteria. So if you are collecting sales tax, first of all, you have to have a license in that state to collect your sales tax. So you can't collect sales tax on behalf of somewhere that you don't have the ability to. So for me, I live in North Carolina, and I have a North Carolina sales and use tax ID. So I would go into taxes. And right now, again, I just started this story like maybe 3 weeks ago. And I haven't really been doing anything because I'm looking at launching in January. So I've kind of been working on my ideas for how I'm going to start. So first you click on manage. And I have put in North Carolina. So right now you're collecting sales in one state in the US. Okay, so this area right here is something, if you want to read about it, you can do that. Sales tax in the United States, that's a good one for a state tax authority. It kind of tells you, most of them that I see, like, they have almost like $100,000 threshold, and they equate it almost to like an Amazon or eBay kind of taxing. So they're taxing those big vendors who are selling in their state and they're not getting the benefit from it. So for small businesses, you definitely have to collect it in a state in which you have a physical presence. So whether you have a warehouse there or you ship from a certain space, like you might live close to a border and you have a storefront in one place and you ship sometimes out of your home. So then you would need to actually put both, because if you have a physical presence somewhere, you have to do that. So you do collect sales tax and you select the state. So if I lived in Alabama, or if I lived in, let's say I'm on the border of North Carolina and Virginia. So let's say I had a warehouse in Virginia. I would click Virginia and I would have to put in my sales tax ID. Now it says you can do it later. But I just caution you, if you do not have a Virginia sales tax ID or a state sales tax ID, be very careful about collecting sales tax for that state until you've done so. And it is very easy to do it. Very easy. Most of them, it is online. You have your state ID first. If you're a business, you have your state ID first, and then your federal ID number first, and then you apply for that state. Every state is kind of different, but most of them doing it online, and you get your ID back like in minutes. So if that's something that you're worried about, just go to your state's Department of Revenue site just type in, like for me, it's NCDOR, North Carolina Department of Revenue. But Google that state site and then select applying. And many of them, they have a number you can call and they'll walk you through it. But I don't have a Virginia. I do have a North Carolina. So that one is set up. So I hit cancel. So right now, anyone who checks out from my store who has a North Carolina North Carolina address, they will be charged sales tax. Now, because for me, my other store is a Paparazzi, and I pay the sales tax on everything that I purchase. So sales tax have already been paid on the items in which I sell. It is up to me to recoup those sales tax from my my customers, or I can, in a sense, gift them as an incentive. That sales tax is already been paid for by me. So it's up to me to recoup that sales tax back from them. So I can, when I go to check out with that customer, I can put that customer is tax exempt, or I can give them a code and say, use this code tax free. And you can type that in under discounts. And that way, if you have a customer, now if a customer buys from you straight from your e-commerce site, like last night, I had a customer from Las Vegas. No clue how the person found my business, but I'm thankful that they did. So I was working and I heard the little customary, Shopify sound. And when I heard that Shopify sound, I'm like, oh, I got an order. Wonder who this is. And I looked and it was someone from Las Vegas. So that person from Las Vegas did not get charged sales tax because I have mine set up to only collect sales tax in North Carolina. So that's those tax overrides. I don't tax on my shipping. Some states, you have to know your rules and your laws there. Some states require you to tax certain things. North Carolina does not require you to do sales tax on shipping, but that's that. So that's for the sales tax. The other was, and here's some of the things down here, charge tax on shipper rate. I do not, so I do not have that checked. All prices includes tax, and that's basically shipper rates and anything that you put in there, it would be. So I don't have any of that checked on mine. You do what fits you and what your laws are in your state. But I would say if you start getting big time, make sure you have someone that's keeping up with how much you are selling in each state, because at certain states have certain thresholds. And once you get to that certain threshold, you have to have collected sales tax. So for me, a lot of my customers are from Georgia. So I'm keeping my eye on the Georgia tax base there. The next thing was shipping. So same thing, you go back to your settings. In the settings, all of this is in the settings, and I go to shipping and delivery. Okay. And when you go to shipping and delivery, this was kind of confusing for me at first. So you have two things. One, you want to know whether or not you're going to be weighing everything. Now, here's the benefits. If you have a store that you have maybe 40 different types of items, like maybe you sell dolls and all of your dolls are pretty much the same weight. So you weigh a doll and you put that, when you put that product in, you're able to put how much that product weighs. So when the customer checks out, the customer will choose which shipping option they want based upon the weight and what's cheaper for them or how fast they want it, but it's based upon the weight. And say maybe you have dolls, maybe you have doll clothes, and you're going to weigh because you're only going to do 20 styles. So it's easy to do that. But I was doing that with my Paparazzi site. As soon as my items would come in, I would weigh what each of the new items was. When I entered it into the system, I would go into the system and edit and put the weight, do a bulk edit and put in the weight for each one of the items so that when customers checked out, they were able to do it. But then I started balancing out how much of my time was this taking, what really was I gaining out of it, what really were my customers truly gaining out of it. And so I started looking at what was the average amount that I was shipping anyway. So the cheapest items I was shipping was like $3. It was costing like $3. And even that's when I would ship like out to Vegas or Montana, some of my customers out that way. And the most expensive ones were $8. And sometimes people were, maybe cautious about, well, I'm not going to add all of this because I'm only getting $5 items and the shipping's coming up to $8. So I don't know if I want to buy one $5 item and then not sure how much it's going to be. So they might abandon their cart, which is a lost customer. But if you have a standard flat shipping rate, and you can adjust it as you go along if you realize that it's not working for you. So I was, I put $4.50. It's less than an item. And most of the cheap one, even with one, it was like $3. So that was encouraging maybe people to buy more, and like, oh, flat rate's only $4.50. So I'm not going to get one. Maybe I'll get 3 things. Maybe I'll go ahead and get $20 worth. So you just have to balance it out for you. So you click on the manage rates. Okay. So we're going to click on add rate. If you're going to set your criteria, like doing flat rate, you would do set up your own rates. If you're going to put in the weight for everything, you put in use, carrier, or app to calculate rates. Okay. And here, remember I said it starts off, it's called economy. You can select either one of those, custom flat rate, no shipping time. That means you're not guaranteeing the shipping time. You can do an express rate, but most of the time, if a customer wants it, just have them, say if you need expedite on your page, but if you need expedited shipping, please contact me. And you can do that little chat box on your site and allow them to communicate with you there. But let's just do standard since I don't have one here. And I'm going to add the conditions. So right now, standard is free because I haven't put anything. So I'm going to do add conditions. So the conditions here is based on order price. Remember, based on item weight is if you're weighing items. I'm not going to weigh items. So if a person buys between $20 to $49.99, remember I've got a $50 one there. If they buy between $20 and $49.99, it's not going to be free because that's what the other one is. So let's go in and edit this rate, and it's not going to be free. So I don't want to charge them $8. Let's say I'll charge them $6. So if that person goes to checkout, if they've got between $20 and $49.99 before shipping is calculated, then their shipping rate is going to be $6. If they've got $50 or more, their shipping is going to be free. Anything below $20, they're going to pay $8 shipping. So that's how my site is set up. If I change my mind about free, if I say, okay, I want to charge them $2 just to cover the cost of my poly mailer, my box, my tape, or whatever, you just click on the 3 dots and do edit rate. If I decide I don't want to do shipping at all, free at all, I just do delete. Okay. And this is for everyone. The shipping zone is United States. I don't ship outside the country. Not yet. It's got this rest of the world here, but I don't ship outside right now. And you hit save. If you don't hit save, if you hit the back button, then you're going to lose it. So there it is. That's how you calculate the taxes and your shipping. Okay. Hope that helps. Take care.